From the very start, with miscasting during pre-production, reshoots, and delays, Borderlands has been surrounded by controversy. And now that it's finally out, the results are in. And they're even worse than anyone expected. The movie is scoring shockingly low on Rotten Tomatoes, and many are already calling it the worst film of 2024. So what went so wrong that everyone seems to hate this movie? Let's break down the top 5 reasons. Just so you know, I'm not a professional critic. I'm just a regular person giving you an honest review, the way I'd tell a friend. And don't worry, no spoilers here. Let's dive in. First, a quick rundown of the plot. On the planet Pandora, mercenary soldier Roland kidnaps a teenager named Tiny Tina with the help of Krieg, a psycho who was once locked up in the same facility. Meanwhile, on another planet called Cytherea, a bounty hunter named Lilith is contacted by Atlas, a powerful corporate bigwig. He convinces her to rescue Tina, his daughter. Lilith takes the job and returns to Pandora, her childhood home.
God, I hate this planet.
Where she teams up with a robot named Claptrap to find Tina. When Lilith realizes Atlas wants his daughter back against her will, she joins forces with Roland and Krieg. Together, they learn that Tina is an Iridian, a member of an ancient race from Pandora, and only she can unlock the vault, which holds the secrets and powers of this lost civilization. With help from Tina's former foster mother, Dr. Patricia Tanis, the team sets off on a journey to find the key to the vault, facing off against Atlas and his army along the way. There's a theory that movies and TV series based on video games are doomed to fail. But the Super Mario Bros. Movie and The Last of Us have proven that wrong with massive success. The real trick is how you adapt the game's story into an engaging movie narrative. Unfortunately, Eli Roth's Borderlands fails miserably at this. The movie tries to force the game's background into the storyline, which makes the relationships between characters feel shallow and awkward. The 6 main characters, Lilith, Roland, Tiny Tina, Krieg, Dr. Tanis, and Claptrap, have weak or non-existent motivations, and there's zero chemistry between them. They feel like ingredients in a batter that just won't mix. For instance, it's hard to understand why Lilith, who's sarcastic and standoffish enough to kill someone just for talking to her early in the film, suddenly becomes self-sacrificing and motherly toward Tiny Tina later on. Tina isn't exactly endearing, she's more like a reckless, uncontrollable teenager. So why Krieg, a psycho, and Roland, a tough soldier, suddenly take on protector roles for her is just confusing and awkward. And the relationship between Lilith and Claptrap feels just as forced and unnatural. And what about the supporting characters? Marcus, the bus driver, and Mad Moxie seem like soulless NPCs just there to assist the heroes, while Commander Knox comes off as a lifeless chess piece with no real purpose. Because the characters' goals aren't clear, it's hard for the audience to care about the story. Random humor disrupts the flow, and the cheesy lines are more cringeworthy than funny. So what about the characters themselves? Are they at least interesting? Unfortunately, no.
No?
One of the biggest issues with Borderlands is that it's impossible to connect with any of the characters. Lilith never really comes into her own. She just remains Cate Blanchett with bright red hair.
High-end bounty hunter pal.
And it's tough to feel anything for Tiny Tina because, true to the game, she's far too annoying.
I don't want to!
Krieg might remind you of Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, strong and simple-minded. But he lacks any real charm and comes off as dull. Claptrap, the movie's comic relief, is so irritating that you'll wish he'd just stop talking altogether.
Don't judge me!
Roland is another one-dimensional character who's too boring to relate to. None of the characters stand out or offer anything memorable, making it hard to care about what happens to them. In short, the characters just aren't captivating enough to draw you in or make the story engaging.
Who the hell are you?
Given how poorly the characters are developed, it's not just disappointing, it's downright disrespectful to see such talented actors wasted in this movie. Using some of the best actors of our time, like Cate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis, in roles like these feels wrong on so many levels. What a waste of talent. It's not that they've always taken serious roles. Blanchett was amazing as Hela in Thor Ragnarok, one of the most memorable villains in the Marvel Universe.
Neo.
And Curtis won an Oscar for her quirky role in Everything Everywhere All at Once. The problem isn't the genre, it's that the characters don't fit the actors. Watching the film, you can't shake the feeling that they're stuck in an ill-conceived cosplay. They just don't match their roles, and it's not just them. Everyone in the movie feels out of place. Kevin Hart, who plays Roland, doesn't look strong at all, and because he's holding back his usual comedic style, his character ends up being bland. Jack Black as Claptrap is also a letdown. His jokes never land, and he doesn't deliver a single genuine laugh throughout the film. Because the characters aren't well developed and the actors don't fit their roles, none of the humor works. Instead of making you laugh, the jokes make you feel like you're stuck watching a talentless clown show for an hour and a half. Eli Roth seems to think that poop and pee jokes will get a laugh, maybe if the audience is 3 to 6 years old. But when I saw the movie, even the 9 to 12-year-olds in the theater weren't amused, and this movie is rated PG-13. Who is this movie even for? The jokes about randomly killing people fall flat, too. Just because the movie is based on a first-person shooter game doesn't mean mindlessly shooting or killing people will be funny. And when the characters deliver their lines, they're so cheesy and cliché that you can't help but cringe. If the humor doesn't work, do the action sequences at least deliver? Unfortunately, no. There's not a single memorable action scene. Every great sci-fi or action movie has at least one fight scene that sticks with you. Think about The Matrix. Who could forget the 360-degree bullet dodge? But Borderlands only offers lazy camera work and predictable choreography. Cate Blanchett does a decent job with the action scenes for her age, but instead of being drawn into her performance, I couldn't stop thinking about her age, which is a big distraction and a huge problem. It's not just Lilith. Every character's actions feel meaningless. To create real excitement, there needs to be a sense of danger, or a formidable enemy.
Now I'm always smiling.
One of the biggest problems with this movie is that it lacks both. The only character you could call a villain is Atlas, but he comes across as nothing more than a greedy, obnoxious guy. No real crisis means no real excitement. Despite its big-name cast and a loyal fanbase from the original video game, Borderlands is a textbook example of how not to make a blockbuster. I'd rate it as a watch if you have nothing else to do movie, but it's not completely unwatchable. Some people might find it okay for killing time. Do you find our review helpful? Let us know in the comments below. Your feedback means a lot to us. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Stay tuned for more great content coming your way.
What are you doing?